Eli stood in the center of the giant hall, breathing slow, trying not to shake. The air around him felt heavy, filled with strange blue fog that moved like it was alive. Thousands of alien soldiers stood on both sides, tall, glowing armor, sharp eyes watching every move he made. No one spoke. No one even blinked. At the end of the hall sat the one person he feared the most, Queen Zalara. She rose from her throne, and even from far away, Eli could feel her presence. She was tall, powerful, marked with bright silver lines that moved across her skin like stars shifting in space. Her eyes were deep violet, glowing softly, but dangerous. Very dangerous. Eli swallowed. His translator device blinked on his neck, a small metal thing that had helped him talk to aliens many times before. But today, it was acting strange. Lights flickering, soft buzzing, small sparks. Not a good sign. He tried to adjust it, but his hands were shaking. He wished he had stayed on the ship. He wished he had stayed on Earth. He wished he had stayed anywhere else except here, in front of the most feared ruler in this part of the galaxy. Queen Zalara stepped down from her throne, one slow step at a time, her shadow stretching across the floor, closer and closer. Eli tried to speak calmly, remembering the exact line he had practiced. "Your Highness, thank you for meeting me," he whispered softly. The translator processed his words, and then it spoke out loud. "Nice but." The sound echoed through the hall like thunder. Eli froze. His mouth fell open. The translator had betrayed him. The soldiers gasped. Blades activated. Eyes glowed brighter with anger. A few aliens took a step forward, ready to strike. Eli felt his soul leave his body. He tried to correct it, but nothing came out. His throat was dry. His heart was punching his chest. Queen Zalara stopped in front of him. Very close now. Too close. Her face unreadable. Eyes locked on him. Silent. Cold. Dangerous. Everyone waited for her reaction. A single command from her, and Eli would be gone. Seconds passed like hours. Then, she tilted her head, blinked slowly, and suddenly burst into loud, wild laughter. Her laughter shook the hall. Her shoulders moved. Tears formed at the corner of her eyes. She held her stomach, trying to breathe. The soldiers stared in shock. They had never seen their queen laugh like this. Eli didn't know if this was good or very, very bad. He tried to speak again. "Please, Your Highness, it was a mistake." The translator tried to help, buzzed, and said loudly, "I admire your butt. Very impressive." Eli felt his soul leave his body a second time. Queen Zalara laughed even harder. She placed a hand on her forehead and leaned back like she couldn't handle how funny this was. Her voice echoed through every corner of the grand hall. Eli wanted to melt into the floor. He tried to shut off the translator, but the device sparked, smoked a little, and refused to stop. Queen Zalara slowly straightened herself, still smiling, eyes bright with amusement. She began to walk around him, studying him from all sides like someone examining a very strange animal. She said softly, in her deep alien voice, a bold human. Eli shook his head frantically. No, I didn't." The translator interrupted again. "I said those things because I was nervous. You're amazing but confused me." Eli wanted to slap the device. Destroy it. Throw it into the sun. Why today? Why he? Why her? Queen Zalara covered her mouth, and another wave of laughter escaped. The soldiers didn't know if they should laugh too, or run, or attack. Eli stood like a statue, whispering inside his head, "I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm so dead." Queen Zalara stopped in front of him again. This time she stared directly into his eyes. Her smile slowly faded. Softly, slowly, and her expression turned unreadable once more. She reached out and touched the translator on his neck. Her fingers were cold. "This little machine," she said softly, "is very honest." Eli almost cried. He tried to explain. His voice was shaking. "It's broken, it's..." The translator cut in. "I like you, and your butt is perfect geometry." The hall went silent again. Queen Zalara stared at him, long and deep. Then she whispered, "You are either very brave, or very stupid." Eli didn't know which one she meant. He didn't want to know. The queen turned slightly, signaling the guards. The soldiers stepped forward, ready for orders. Eli held his breath. Was she going to execute him? Punish him? Lock him away? Queen Zalara looked at him again, her smile returning slowly, dangerously. Human, she said. Eli's heart stopped. Come with me. She walked away, and the soldiers pushed him forward to follow her. Eli was confused, terrified, and somehow still alive. But he could feel one thing clearly. This was only the beginning. If you're enjoying this story, gently consider subscribing to this channel, so you don't miss the next parts. Eli followed the queen into the shadows of the grand hall, not knowing whether the next moment would bring safety or something far worse. Eli walked behind Queen Zalara, slowly, carefully, like a man walking into his own grave. The echo of her earlier laughter still bounced around the massive hallway, but now she was silent again, completely silent, and that silence felt far more dangerous than her laughter. Her steps were smooth and controlled, each one hitting the floor with a soft metallic ring. Aliens along the walls watched Eli pass, their eyes glowing, their hands gripping weapons, unsure whether to salute him or stab him. The broken translator on Eli's neck buzzed weakly, like it was trying to apologize. He whispered at it under his breath. Please, just don't speak. It beeped in response. He didn't trust that beep. The queen led him through a long corridor with tall, glowing pillars. Strange alien symbols floated in the air, shifting slowly like living creatures. Eli tried not to stare, afraid one of them might jump out and bite him. Finally, Queen Zalara stopped in front of a tall door. It opened with a deep sound, like a giant breathing. Inside was a private chamber lit by soft blue lights. The walls were covered with moving patterns, almost like galaxies swirling inside glass. The place felt alive. Queen Zalara turned around slowly, her eyes bright with curiosity. Human, she said softly, you speak strange words. I want to know why. Eli raised his hand carefully. I can explain. The translator activated on its own. I would die for your beautiful butt. Eli's jaw dropped. No, stop, please. Queen Zalara blinked once, twice, and then smiled. A very slow, dangerous smile. Interesting, she whispered. Eli felt like collapsing. He covered the device with his hand, hoping that would silence it, but it vibrated under his palm like a living insect. Queen Zalara stepped closer, circling him like a predator around prey. She studied him from every angle, her eyes scanning his face, his clothes, the translator, everything. You shake, she murmured. You fear me, and yet, your little machine speaks so boldly. Eli nodded rapidly. Yes, no, yes, I fear you. I don't want to die. The translator buzzed. I'm brave and stupid at the same time. The queen let out a short laugh. Not loud like before, but sharp and amused. You humans are strange, she said. Eli wanted to agree. Humans were strange, especially when they were dying inside. She moved toward a glowing stone in the center of the room. When she touched it, a hologram opened, showing images of past visitors, alien leaders, warriors, travelers. And next to them, their punishments. Some were crushed, some vaporized. One turned into a floating cube. Eli stayed in horror. Queen Zalara walked back to him slowly, her expression unreadable. Many came here to negotiate, she said. Some offended me, and they did not leave alive. Eli swallowed hard. He felt sweat sliding down the back of his neck. She stopped one step away from him. Now tell me, she whispered, why did you speak those words to your queen? Eli tried to breathe normally. He tried to speak slowly so the translator wouldn't panic. Your Highness, my translator is broken. It said things that I did not mean. The translator hummed. When said, I meant every word. Eli almost screamed. Queen Zalara's eyes widened slightly. Then she let out another soft laugh. Bold honesty, she whispered. Or broken magic. Eli grabbed the device. It's broken. Very broken. Please ignore it. She stepped closer. Too close. Eli felt her shadow touch him. With one finger, She tapped the translator. It sparked. Yes, she said, I can see it is damaged. Eli sighed in relief. Until she added, but your face, your voice, those were not lies. You were nervous, flustered, honest. Eli shook his head. No, no, no. My face lies all the time. The translator added proudly. His face loves your butt. Eli gasped. I will destroy you, he whispered to the device. Queen Zalara burst into laughter again, holding her chest. Her laughter filled the chamber, echoing strangely off the alien walls. When she finally calmed down, she wiped a tear from her eye and stepped back. You amuse me, human, she said softly. But amusement alone is not enough. I must know if you are bold or simply foolish. She raised her hand. Instantly, 2 guards appeared from hidden doors behind him. Their armor glowed. Their weapons crackled with energy. Eli froze. Bring him forward, she commanded. The guards pushed him toward a glowing circular platform at the center of the room. The queen walked around it, her expression serious again. I will test your courage, she said. And your truth. Eli felt his legs shaking as he stepped onto the platform. Queen Zalara lifted her hand, and the room dimmed. Symbols began to glow. The floor vibrated lightly. Eli's heart thumped hard. What kind of test is this? He whispered. The translator spoke. A butt test. Eli screamed inside his mind. Queen Zalara stayed at him silently, the glowing light reflecting in her violet eyes. A slow smile growing once more. Human, she whispered. Let us see what you really are. The chamber grew darker, the symbols brighter, the air heavier. Eli stood alone in the center. The test was beginning, and he knew this was not a joke anymore. The chamber grew colder, heavier, almost like the air itself was watching Eli. The glowing platform under his feet began to shift, forming new shapes that looked like ancient symbols. They moved, twisted, and rose into the air like floating glass. Queen Zalara stood a few steps away, arms crossed, her violet eyes locked on him. Sharp, curious, almost hungry. Not hungry for food, hungry for answers. Eli swallowed hard. He whispered to himself, Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. His translator buzzed softly, like a tiny demon warming up for another disaster. Queen Zalara lifted her hand. The symbols stopped moving. The room went silent. Human, she said quietly, this is a truth test. If you lie, the chamber will know. Eli's heart stopped. He didn't trust himself to tell the truth under pressure. And he definitely didn't trust the translator. The queen stepped closer, her tall shadow stretching over him. You will answer my questions, she said, without your machine. Eli froze. Without the translator, he knew only a little alien language. Barely enough to order water. Certainly not enough to explain why he accidentally complimented her, but 3 times in under 10 minutes. Still, he nodded weakly. Queen Zalara reached out and touched the translator. Her fingers glided over the metal device, cold and soft. Remove it, she ordered. Eli hesitated. If he removed it, the device might. The translator suddenly spoke. Please don't leave me alone with the queen's butt. Eli ripped it off instantly. Shut up. The device fell silent and dangled in his hand, defeated. Queen Zalara smirked, amused. You humans build very strange machines. He didn't argue. He just placed the translator at his feet and stepped away from it like it was cursed. The queen circled him again, studying him. Now, she said softly, speak to me in your own voice. Eli exhaled slowly. He tried to remember the small alien vocabulary he practiced on the ship. And my name. Eli, he said. Human, not enemy, only peace. His words were broken, slow, and probably embarrassing. But Queen Zalara raised her eyebrow, not in anger, but in surprise. You speak more than I expected, she said. Good. Then she asked the question he feared most. Why did your machine say such bold things to me? Eli felt his skin crawl. He tried to speak, but the words stuck. He tried again. Broken tool. Bad. Wrong. He pointed at the translator. No control. Queen Zalara stepped closer, close enough that Eli could see the small silver patterns glowing softly on her cheeks. "So," she whispered, "you are not bold. You are simply unlucky." Eli nodded rapidly. "Yes, very unlucky. Very, very unlucky." She stared at him, trying to read his expression. Her eyes scanned him slowly, like she was searching for truth beneath his skin. The floating symbols around them suddenly brightened. The chamber was judging his answer. A soft hum filled the air, and then the symbols turned green. Queen Zalara nodded. "The chamber believes you," she said. Eli breathed out in relief, almost collapsing. But then she raised her hand again. That was only the first truth. His knees weakened. "More," he whispered. "Yes," she said simply. "More." The queen moved her hand, and the platform under Eli shifted again. A new shape formed, a glowing ring around him. "This is the courage test," she said. "It is simple. Stand still." Eli blinked. "That's it. Just stand still." She smiled, too calmly. "Stand still, no matter what you see." Before he could ask what that meant, the chamber lights dimmed. Everything went dark, and then the illusions began. A loud growl echoed behind him. He turned, but nothing was there. The growl turned into a scream. Then the scream turned into the sound of heavy footsteps circling him. Eli clenched his fists. Okay. Don't move, don't move." A giant shadow passed behind him. Hot breath touched his neck, but he didn't move. Another illusion appeared, a massive alien beast, teeth sharp, eyes glowing. It roared inches from his face. Hot wind hit him. Eli shut his eyes tight but stayed still. His legs trembled. His heart hammered. Sweat rolled down his forehead. He kept whispering, "Don't move, don't move." Then the worst illusion appeared. Queen Zalara herself, angry, glowing with cosmic fury, walking toward him with a weapon in her hand. Even knowing it was fake, Eli felt pure panic crawl up his spine. She raised the weapon. He wanted to run. He wanted to scream. He wanted to jump through the floor. But he didn't move. He just stood there, shaking like a leaf. But standing. After a long moment, the illusion vanished. The chamber lights brightened again, and Queen Zalara stood before him, not angry, not dangerous, just watching him with a strange intensity. She said softly. "You did not run. You did not scream. You stayed." Eli nodded weakly. "Almost died, but yes, stayed." Queen Zalara stepped closer, her voice low. "Maybe you are not foolish," she said. "Maybe you are brave." Eli opened his mouth to speak, but before he could say anything, the translator on the floor suddenly rebooted. It buzzed, sparked, and shouted, "His bravery is powered by your butt." Eli stared at it in horror. Queen Zalara stared at it. Then, she burst into laughter again, loud, wild, echoing around the chamber like music. When she finally stopped, she wiped her eyes and looked at him. "Human," she said with a smile, "I am not done with you yet." Eli felt a chill run down his spine. The tests weren't over. But one thing was clear. Queen Zalara's interest in him was growing. And that might be the most dangerous thing of all. Eli's legs still felt like jelly as the last echoes of Queen Zalara's laughter faded into the chamber walls. The glowing symbols slowly dimmed, dissolving back into the floor like melting glass. He stood there trembling, drenched in sweat, unsure whether he had passed the tests, or simply survived them by accident. Queen Zalara walked toward him with slow, confident steps. Her armor shimmered softly under the shifting blue lights. Though she was calm, her eyes held a sharper glow, like she had seen something in him that she wasn't expecting. "Human," she said, "you surprised me." Eli blinked rapidly. Good surprise, or bad surprise? She didn't answer. She only stepped closer, close enough that Eli could see tiny stars reflected in her violet eyes. "You spoke honestly," she continued, "even without your machine. And you face my illusions without fleeing." Her voice dropped lower. "That is unusual for your kind." Eli tried to smile but ended up looking like someone about to faint. "I was only trying not to die," he said softly. She tilted her head. "Most who try not to die still fail." He swallowed again. "Great, very comforting. The translator on the floor suddenly buzzed weakly, like a half-dead insect waking up. Eli glared at it. "If you speak again, I swear." It made a soft beep. He winced. Queen Zalara ignored it. Instead, she touched a glowing panel on the wall. A soft chime echoed, and a different door opened behind her, narrow, carved with swirling silver lines. "Come," she said. Eli hesitated. "Where are we going?" "To see something," she replied. "Something you must understand if you remain in my kingdom." He didn't love the word remain, but he followed her anyway. He didn't exactly have a choice. Two tall guards were standing near the door, and both looked ready to turn him into space dust if he tried running. The hallway behind the door was different, much quieter, warmer, and darker. Soft energy lights floated above, moving like gentle fireflies. The floor curved downward in a spiral, deeper into the palace. Queen Zalara walked ahead, her long cloak brushing the ground like flowing liquid metal. Eli walked behind her and whispered, "Okay, Eli, you're still alive. Don't ruin it. Don't talk about her butt again. Don't sneeze on the queen. Don't trip." He tripped, just slightly, caught himself, pretended nothing happened. The queen's head turned a little, as if she heard the small stumble. But she said nothing. At the end of the hallway, the space opened into a circular chamber. Inside it was something beautiful. Floating in the center was a giant energy sphere, like a star trapped inside glass. It pulsed softly, sending ripples of light across the room. Eli stared in awe. "What is that?" Queen Zalara stepped closer to the sphere, and it responded, glowing brighter, almost like it recognized her. "This," she said, "is our memory core." Eli blinked. "Like your data storage." She shook her head. "No. It holds the memories of our ancestors, their knowledge, their battles, their failures, their warnings." She touched the sphere gently, and images flickered inside. Ancient aliens, old wars, destroyed planets, glowing weapons. The memories were alive. Eli stepped closer, mesmerized. "You show me this because..." She turned around slowly, her expression changing, softer now, thoughtful. "You were honest with me," she said, "and I will be honest with you." Eli's heart skipped. "My people," she continued, "do not trust humans." He felt a sting in his chest. She walked around the sphere, tracing its glowing surface with her fingers. "You come from a world that rushes into danger without thought. A world that jokes when it should flee. A world that sometimes speaks before thinking." Eli coughed awkwardly. "That last one might be my fault." She smiled slightly. "And yet," she continued, "humans are brave, curious, loyal, and very hard to predict." The memory core flashed an image of human explorers shaking hands with alien allies. Queen Zalara watched it quietly. "Our last contact with humans ended in war," she said. "Many lives were lost." Eli lowered his head. "I'm sorry." She turned to him again, eyes softer now. "You are not responsible," she said. "But you are the first human allowed in my inner chamber. That means something." Eli felt a tiny spark of warmth. Then it vanished when she added, "If you fail me, I will remove your memories." He froze. What? Remove?" She nodded calmly. "Yes. Remove. Clean. Erase." Eli's brain screamed. He clutched his translator like a teddy bear. I won't fail. I promise. I won't even breathe wrong." The translator buzzed to life. "He likes your butt so much he would never betray you." Eli grabbed it and hissed, "Stop confessing things I don't confess." Queen Zalara hid a smile. "Your machine is honest, even when you are afraid. It's broken." She stepped closer, studying Eli silently. This time, her expression wasn't mocking or amused. It was searching. "You risked your life with the illusions," she said. "You did not run." Eli shrugged weakly. "I run slow anyway." She laughed softly, just a small laugh, but it warmed the room. "And you try to speak my language," she added, "even if your words are crooked and clumsy." Eli smiled nervously. Queen Zalara leaned closer, eyes glowing brighter. "Maybe," she whispered, "you are not here by mistake." Eli blinked. What do you mean? Before she could answer, the memory core pulsed violently. A loud alarm echoed through the palace. Red lights flashed on the walls. Queen Zalara stiffened. Eli stepped back. What's happening? She touched the core again, and an image flashed inside, enemy ships entering their space. The threat they feared had arrived. Queen Zalara turned to Eli, her expression sharp again. Human, she said, prepare yourself. Eli swallowed hard. For what? For war. The alarms echoed through the palace like rolling thunder, shaking the walls and sending pulses of red light across Queen Zalara's face. Eli stood frozen in place, staring at her as soldiers rushed past them, their armor glowing brighter with every alert. Queen Zalara did not panic. She did not blink. She simply turned toward the doorway. Follow me, she commanded. Eli hesitated for half a second, then ran after her, nearly slipping on the smooth alien floor as the warning sirens grew louder. The corridor outside the memory core chamber was chaotic, guards sprinting, weapons activating, shields rising along the walls like glowing barriers. The air tasted metallic, buzzing with rising energy. Eli tried to keep up, breathless. Queen, what's happening? She answered without looking back. The Drathran Empire has entered our atmosphere. Eli blinked. The Dra what now? The translator around his neck, still held in his hand, buzzed weakly, then confidently translated. Big angry aliens coming to destroy everything. Eli gulped. That's not very helpful. Queen Zalara strode forward with long, powerful steps, her cloak flowing behind her like a streak of living metal. She led him to a massive round door carved with swirling patterns. When she placed her hand on it, the door opened with a deep rumble. Inside was the war chamber, a vast circular room with a floating holotable at its center, filled with glowing red and blue lines. Enemy ships incoming, defense systems activating, troop formations forming around the planet. Eli's breath hitched. The Drathran ships were huge. Dark, jagged shapes, almost like giant metal beasts swimming through space. He stepped closer to the table. That's a lot of ships. Queen Zalara nodded calmly. They attack without warning. They want our core, and they will kill anything in their path. Eli stared up at her. And what do I do in all this? I'm not a warrior. I panic when toast burns. She finally looked at him. You will stay close to me. He blinked. I will what? Stay close, she repeated. Your presence may confuse our enemies. Eli nearly choked. Is that a strategy? Before he could complain more, the translator on his neck crackled back to life, glowing brighter than before. Eli grabbed it. No, not now. Please. It beeped and translated loudly. I will protect your beautiful butt. Every soldier in the room turned to stare. Some raised brows. Some looked confused. One alien even dropped his spear. Eli covered the device with both hands. No. Ignore that, please. Queen Zalara laughed softly, in the middle of a war room, with an entire army watching. You are brave, human, she said. Very strange, but brave. Eli looked offended. I'm brave. I'm trying not to wet myself. But she was already focused on the holotable. Activate sky shields, she ordered her generals. Prepare ground cannons. Lock the palace gates. A deep voice answered. Yes, my queen. The air vibrated as the defense systems outside powered up. Through the transparent sky dome above them, Eli could see blasts of energy firing into space. One of the generals stepped forward. Your Majesty, the enemy ships are too many. We need you at the front. Queen Zalara nodded. I will go. Eli's heart stopped. You will what? She turned to him. You are coming. Eli nearly fainted. To the battlefield. Yes, she said simply. You said you wished to protect me. Eli shook his head rapidly. I never said. The translator shouted. Her butt gives me courage. Silence. Queen Zalara raised a single eyebrow. Eli turned purple with embarrassment. A general coughed awkwardly. My queen, perhaps the human stays. No, Zalara interrupted. He stays with me. I want to see how humans fight. We don't fight. Eli squeaked. We run. We hide. We scream. We make snacks. Sometimes all at once. Queen Zalara was already walking toward the exit. You saved me during the illusions, she said. Your instincts are strong. You will come. Eli looked around desperately. Anyone? Help, please. The guards behind him nudged him forward. He stumbled after the queen, muttering, "This is how I die. This is how I die," eaten by space goblins or vaporized by alien lasers. When they reached the hangar doors, they opened automatically, revealing a massive platform overlooking the battlefield. War. Explosions lit the sky. Alien ships fired blazing beams of energy. Palace towers glowed with defensive shields. Thunder-like booms shook the ground. Eli stepped back in terror. This is not Earth-friendly. Queen Zalara stood tall on the platform, wind blowing her cloak behind her. She raised her arm, and a spear of glowing energy formed in her hand. She looked like a goddess of war. She turned to Eli. "Stay with me." Eli nodded weakly. "I'll try, but no promises." Another blast hit nearby, shaking the entire platform. Eli tripped forward, straight into the queen. He crashed against her armor and gasped. Sorry. The translator said cheerfully. "I am ready for battle, my queen." Eli glared at it. "You liar." Queen Zalara actually smiled. "You humans," she said softly, "are full of surprises." Then she raised her weapon high. "For Zerath." The army roared back. Eli raised his trembling hand. "For staying alive." And with that, Queen Zalara leapt into battle, and Eli stumbled after her, hoping the enemy might die of confusion before killing him. The battlefield exploded into light. Flashes of blue and red fire tore across the sky as the Dratharan ships swooped low, their engines growling like beasts hungry for destruction. The air shook with every blast, every scream of metal, every thunderous shockwave. The ground warriors of the Zerath Empire raised their glowing shields as fire rained from above. Queen Zalara leapt forward with perfect grace, her spear crackling with cosmic energy. Eli stumbled after her like a loose shopping cart. He dodged one exploding rock by accident. He avoided a falling alien by tripping. He survived another blast because he happened to bend down and ready his boot. From above, it looked like he was dancing with the battle. But Eli knew the truth. "I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die," he shouted, jumping over a stray plasma bolt. Queen Zalara landed beside him, her armor glowing white-hot. "Human, stay behind me." Eli nodded. "I'm trying, but the behind part keeps moving." Another Dratharan ship dropped lower, firing a beam directly toward them. Zalara spun her spear, generating a shield of pure energy. The beam hit with a violent shockwave that sent Eli rolling backward like a tumbleweed. He crashed into a pile of metallic shells, groaned, and forced himself up again. Okay. I'm alive. Everything hurts, but alive." His translator, now clipped back on his neck, buzzed awake again. "Human systems failing. Courage at 0%. Eli grabbed it. "Shut up. Don't diagnose me right now." Queen Zalara slashed through two enemy drones in one swipe, sparks flying everywhere. Her power was overwhelming. Lightning raced across her skin, her eyes burning bright like twin stars. She pointed her spear at a cluster of incoming soldiers. "They are targeting the palace core," she said. "We must reach the upper towers before they do." Eli blinked rapidly. "You want me to go UP? Toward the fire?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because you are with me." The translator added proudly. "He would follow your butt anywhere." Eli nearly screamed. "I did not say that." Queen Zalara didn't laugh this time. Not fully, but the corner of her mouth lifted just a little. A sudden explosion behind them knocked the ground sideways. Eli rolled, hit a wall, and groaned. When he looked up, a massive Dratharan warrior towered over him, dark armor, horned helmet, glowing blade in hand. Eli froze. "Oh no, oh no, oh no." The warrior lunged. Eli did the only thing a human could do in that moment. He screamed and held up his translator like a shield. The sword slammed into the device. It sparked violently, exploded in a burst of static, and the Dratherin stumbled back, screaming in confusion. Eli blinked in shock. What just happened? The translator buzzed faintly, half melted. I emitted a sonic insult, it said weakly. The alien is emotionally offended. The Dratherin warrior ran away crying. Queen Zalara landed beside Eli again, eyes wide. You defeated him with that small machine. I think so. She stared at him, impressed. You humans are strange, she murmured, and unpredictable. Eli nodded. You got the unpredictable part right. Another blast shook the ground nearby. Above them, a palace tower cracked, a huge stone falling towards Zalara's head. Eli saw it out of the corner of his eye. His body moved before he could think. He threw himself at her, pushing her out of the way as the falling debris crashed where she had been standing. They tumbled together across the ground, Eli landing on top of her, breathless. Her eyes widened. His went even wider. The translator crackled with smoke, then whispered. Romantic moment detected. Eli slapped it. Not now. Queen Zalara stayed at him, surprised, almost stunned. You saved me, she said quietly. Eli nodded weakly. Yeah, I guess the panic kicked in before the Fae. She stood up, dusting herself off. Her voice softened in a way Eli had never heard before. Humans risk themselves without reason. I had a reason, Eli said. You were about to get crushed. Her eyes warmed. Thank you, Eli of Earth. Eli felt his panic pause for half a second. Then another explosion reminded him they were still in a war. Queen Zalara lifted her spear. Come, the tower waits. Eli groaned. I hate the tower. But he followed her anyway. They ran through flaming corridors, past wounded soldiers, dodging blasts and debris. As they climbed toward the upper levels, Eli noticed something strange. The palace stones glowed brighter around Zalara, almost responding to her presence. She reached a massive door at the top. This is the arc beacon, she said. Our ancient weapon. If we activate it, the Dratherins will retreat. Eli nodded. Great. How do we turn it on? She touched a glowing panel. That is the problem. It needs two beings to activate it. One Zerath, one outsider. Eli blinked. Outsider? That's me, isn't it? Yes. Oh no. She placed his hand on the panel beside hers. Energy surged through the room, swirling around them like spiraling stars. Ready? She asked. No. Good. Light exploded outward. The arc beacon fired a massive pulse across the sky, striking the Dratherin ships one by one. They crackled, sputtered, and began retreating, their engines failing under the weapon's ancient power. Eli stayed at the sky in shock. We did it. Queen Zalara looked at him, breathless. Yes, she said softly. We did. The translator buzzed one last time. And her butt was safe, thanks to you. Queen Zalara laughed. Pure, bright, genuine. Eli didn't even bother to argue anymore. For the first time, he felt something new in her eyes. Not suspicion, not amusement, but trust. And that was far scarier than the entire enemy fleet. The battlefield slowly quieted. Smoke drifted into the violet sky, mixing with fading sparks of blue light from the arc beacon's pulse. The ground still trembled with the memory of explosions, but the Dratherin ships were already shrinking into distant shadows, fleeing like angry wolves chased off by a stronger pack. Eli stood beside Queen Zalara, both of them breathing hard. His clothes were covered in dust and scorch marks. His hair stuck up like he had been electrocuted 12 different times. His face was a masterpiece of panic and exhaustion. But he was alive, and somehow, unbelievably, he had helped save an alien empire. Queen Zalara stood tall, her armor cracked in places, her silver markings glowing gently as if calming themselves after the fury of battle. She looked up at the sky, then down at Eli. For a human, she said softly, you did well. Eli wiped soot from his cheeks. Well, I nearly died, like 8 times. She tilted her head slightly. 8? I counted 10. Eli blinked. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Before she could answer, his half-broken translator buzzed and coughed like a dying robot. Human courage output, 2%. Luck output, 800%. Eli pointed at it. See, even this stupid thing knows. Queen Zalara let out a small laugh, the kind of soft laugh she probably never showed her generals. It seems your machine understands you well. Eli shook it. It understands me too well. But before he could complain further, a group of Zirath generals approached. They kneeled in front of Zalara, their armor reflecting the rising flames around them. My queen, one said, the Dratharans have retreated. Our troops hold the southern fields. The palace is secure. Queen Zalara nodded, her expression shifting back to her regal calm. Good. Begin healing protocols. Count the fallen. Protect the core chamber. Then she looked at Eli. Every general noticed. Every general frowned. Every general had the same unspoken question. Why was this tiny, scared, clumsy human standing beside their queen like he belonged there? Queen Zalara dismissed them with a wave, then turned to Eli. Come, she said softly. We are not finished. Eli sighed. Can't we be finished? Just a little? 5 minutes? 10? But she was already walking toward the palace interior. He followed, limping only a little, okay, a lot. They passed through a corridor filled with cracked pillars and damaged energy shields. The palace healers floated around injured soldiers, glowing patches repairing wounds. Everyone paused when Eli walked by, as if seeing a mythical creature. One soldier whispered, "That is the human who stewed with the queen." Another added, "Small, but loud." Eli frowned. "I heard that." The translator said, "They said you have the strength of a wet sponge." Eli slapped it. "Why would you translate that?" Queen Zalara hid a tiny smile. They reached a quiet throne chamber, untouched by battle. It was dim, peaceful, eerily calm after the chaos outside. Eli stepped inside cautiously. "Is this safe?" "Yes," she said. "We are alone. Close the doors." He obeyed, and the giant doors slid shut behind him with a deep echo. Zalara walked toward her throne but didn't sit. Instead, she turned to face him directly. "Eli of Earth," she said, her voice softer than he had ever heard. Eli froze. People only used his full name when something important, or terrifying, was about to happen. "Yes," he squeaked. She stepped forward, her eyes studying him with a strange mixture of curiosity and something else. "You faced my tests. You protected me. You fought beside me. You even risked your life without hesitation." Eli shrugged awkwardly. That part wasn't bravery. It was panic. She ignored that. "Because of you, the arc beacon activated. Because of you, we stand victorious. But all I did was press a button while screaming." "And yet, you pressed it," she replied. Eli blinked. He couldn't argue with that. Queen Zalara clasped her hands behind her back. "My people have long feared humans. But you..." She paused. "You are not what they feared." Eli scratched his neck. "I'm not what humans fear either." For a moment, silence filled the chamber. A warm silence. Not heavy, but thoughtful. Then Queen Zalara stepped closer, so close Eli could feel the faint energy humming around her. "Eli," she said, "I offer you a choice." His stomach twisted. "Choice? What kind of choice?" She looked into his eyes. "You may return to your people. Back to your world. Back to your simple life." Eli nodded eagerly. "Yes, I like simple. Love simple. Simple is my best friend." She raised a finger. "Oh." Her voice deepened. "You may stay. Here, in my empire. As my ambassador." Eli froze. Ember, ambassador what now?" "My personal human advisor," she explained. "My interpreter for human culture. My connection to your species. I would live here. In the palace. Yes. I would be beside you. All the time." "Yes." The translator suddenly beeped. Warning. Human experiencing emotional meltdown. Eli pushed it away. "Me? Meltdown? You caused half of this." Queen Zalara stepped even closer. "I will protect you," she said quietly. "And I will trust you." 2 sentences. Simple sentences. but they hit Eli harder than any explosion outside. He felt his chest tighten, his breath slow, his mind swirl. He looked up at her. "You want me to stay?" She nodded once. "Only if you choose it." Eli didn't answer immediately. He walked a few steps away, pacing back and forth, running a hand through his messy hair. "Okay, Eli, think. You could return to Earth, where things make sense. Gravity, sandwiches, no glowing weapons, no illusion monsters, no giant angry spaceships." He stopped. "And no queen." He glanced back at her. Queen Zalara watched him silently, waiting. He swallowed. "Or I stay here," he said softly, "with people who think I'm strange, in a palace full of things trying to kill me, next to a queen who laughs at me, tests me, scares me." He paused, and his voice softened without him meaning to. "And trusts me." She stepped forward. "Well?" she asked quietly. Eli took a deep breath. His heart pounded. His translator buzzed nervously. Then he finally said, "I'll stay." Queen Zalara's eyes widened for a moment. Surprise, then something warmer. "Then you are mine," she said softly. Eli choked. Why yours?" "As my ambassador," she clarified. "Do not make it strange." The translator added, "He wants to make it strange." "Shut up." Queen Zalara laughed, a soft, beautiful, rare sound. She raised her hand. "Welcome to the Zerath Empire, Eli of Earth." He smiled nervously. "And, thank you for letting me not die." She stepped closer. "You will do more than survive," she whispered. "You will change us." Eli blinked. "Change? You?" "Yes." And then, almost as an afterthought, the translator buzzed one last time. "And he still thinks you're but is legendary." Queen Zalara's laughter echoed through the throne chamber like music. And Eli knew, in that moment, his new life had officially begun.